or via email jonesboroalumni@live.com.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And we're back on Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We are now in part 2 of today's show, and joining us now is Dr. Kimberly Davis, Dr. Audrey Bowser, and Dr. Jeannie Oliver. And all three of these ladies are professors at Arkansas State University, and they have a special program that they're going to talk about today. It is the Ready to Teach program. I'm looking at the flyer. It says Teachers Rise Up, June 7th, 2018. Ready to Teach, College of Education and Behavioral Science, Arkansas State University, Centennial Hall, Student Union, 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and says register by May 25th at ready2.eventbrite.com. So ladies, thank you for joining us today. So let's go ahead and get into it. So tell us about what is Ready to Teach and what it's all about.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so
much.
much.
A little closer to you.
Thank you so much for having us. Ready to Teach is a program that is designed by the College of Education and Behavioral Science at Arkansas State University. It is truly to encourage our young, bright students who are in high school. That will be our high school juniors, seniors, and even those who've decided to enter Arkansas State for the first year in the education program. We are trying very hard to instill the love of teaching, the profession that we all love so much. Yes. And we want to encourage those individuals. We especially want to encourage individuals to teach in areas of critical shortage. Yes. And those areas are
special education, social studies. We're also looking at art education, mid-level education, as well as the STEM areas, which would include math and science.
And I imagine there's definitely probably a shortage of African Americans in those fields that need to be filled, and even Hispanics as well, with both of those populations growing not just in Jonesboro but in the region.
Yes, absolutely. There is definitely a shortage of teachers of color in the field, not only in Arkansas but nationwide. But we want to make sure that the students that we produce at Arkansas State University match what we have in the schools, not only in Jonesboro but in the Delta. So we are definitely looking for more students of color in order to make sure that we bridge the gap in the racial diversity in our schools.
Exactly. And part of my job as a professional academic advisor, I have traveled to different schools in the state of Arkansas, and especially back in January this year, traveling, talking to students about Ready to Teach. And so I hit schools like Earl High School, Nettleton High School, Jonesboro High School, Paragould, Greene County Tech. So these schools, I travel, I talk to students about, of course, about programs in the College of Education Behavioral Science. And also, too, I've talked to them about Ready to Teach. And I'm really trying to hit the minority students, especially men.
And what kind of feedback do you get when you speak to these students, when you talk about getting into the teaching field? How do you sell them on getting into this field of education?
Good question. It's very, I have to admit, it's very challenging. And so normally I get teachers and counselors would contact me, and I do a lot of classroom visits versus college fairs. So I shoot them a PowerPoint, and of course, to all the teachers and counselors. And when I get there, we pull up the PowerPoint and I talk to students, our juniors and seniors. They're interested in teacher education. Mainly, I hit the teacher cadet schools. So that's what I'm hitting. And it's working, it's getting a little bit better, because I know a lot of times they do have questions and concerns, especially about the salary and everything. But I tell them my own personal experience, because I'm into teacher education myself, in higher education. And I tell them that teaching is fun, especially when you're working with students. You want to be that mentor, you want to be that coach, and you want to, because a lot of times, kids, they need that attention, And so, and students are beginning to say, hey, maybe this is very important, especially the athletes. So they're looking more into physical education. However, I have few students are interested in special education.
And with that, we'll get back to Dr. Davis, who is a professor of special education. Special education is a growing and evolving field, and there's definitely a rise in it, of course. I've been exposed to it because, my spouse is in special education.
Yes.
So,
She's
I get, so I
educator.
But on a serious note, because of that, I've got to see it from a side that I never would have seen. Because as a kid growing up in Helena, basically the special education students, were segregated. You didn't really see them. They were kind of like off on their own island from everyone else in the school. So seeing it from a different perspective, especially the work that those teachers have to do, it's definitely interesting. But I want to get your thoughts, Dr. Davis, on the recruitment as far as recruiting special education teachers.
Well, when you think about special education, it does take a special individual to teach students with disabilities. But if you think about education in its entirety, all teachers will be responsible for teaching students with exceptional learning needs. And so when I think about recruitment of special ed teachers, we want to find those individuals who are innovative, those individuals who are open and ready to work with each and every student in their classroom, those teachers who believe in change and also have the vision that all students can learn. And so although it may seem to be difficult, as long as we have students who come in willing and ready to work with all students, those teachers are ready to teach students with exceptional learning and behavior needs. And we will address that at the Ready to Teach Academy.
All right, and Kubila just checked in. She says, "Hey, my friends.
Hello.
Wish I was there."
We miss you.
We miss you, and we hope you get better very soon.
Amen to that. Shanquetta Cunningham says, "Awesome." Okay, let's kind of get back into the Ready to Teach event itself. Oh, Shanquetta says, "Go Soror." Yeah, AKs, y'all kind of doing y'all thing this week. Yesterday we had Dr. Glover on talking about Mrs. Arkansas, United States. So
Don't take away from us, though.
Hey, look, I love all the D9.
Oh, yes.
I'm especially thankful to the D9 fraternities and sororities that
Absolutely.
support KLEK.
Yes.
But let's go ahead, because we don't have a long segment, so let's go ahead and get back into the
Okay.
Ready to Teach event. So it's going to be from 8:30 to 3:30 p.m. So kind of talk about what people can expect from the event.
The event, this is our second year. We're very
Second
happy
year,
to
yes.
announce that. This, again, we have to give credit to Dr. Davis. She birthed this idea and said, hey, listen, we really need to encourage more teachers in Arkansas. One, we want teachers who are on fire for education.
Exactly.
We want to give back to students and share with them our love for the profession. And so we've designed this day to do exactly that. It should be a day that the students gain information about education. They also have an opportunity to discuss with others who are educators.
Yes.
And then two, they'll have an idea to ask questions about how can they make that transition from high school to the university environment. So there will be a bit of a recruitment focus, because after all, we want teachers to be in our program at Arkansas State University, only the best teacher ed program there is in the state of Arkansas.
Wolves up.
Of course.
Yes.
That is true.
So on that day, we have, at this moment, we're very proud to
Yes.
announce that we have the Assistant Commissioner from the Arkansas Department of Ed, who will be our keynote this year, Dr. Jeremy Ola.
Yes, you're frat.
Hey, man,
We
that's
are
what's up.
so excited about that.
Well,
And
we're
we
going to
are-
be in the house.
Yes. He's going to be able to give us an overview of the profession. What does it look like in Arkansas? What does it mean to be an Arkansas teacher? And so he really has a story, I believe, to share with this group of individuals. We also will have an opportunity for the students to meet other university professors, other students in the program, and we will have small group sessions. So we really want a hands-on day, because all we have is one day. Dr. Davis and I, when we're sitting down looking at the agenda, we're saying we want to do more, but we know we have one day to get this done.
So we try not to be over ambitious about it, but the hands-on sessions will focus on how to deal with those behaviors in the classroom. What is it like to walk in the shoes of a teacher each day? So we will have.
It's not easy.
Yeah, we will have teachers who are actually out in the field, in the trenches right now, come in to speak with our students, our potential red wolves, come in and speak with them about what it's like to be in the classroom.
And I want to kind of highlight something, and all three of you ladies can weigh in on this. And we're speaking with Dr. Kim Davis, Dr. Audrey Bowser, and Dr. Jeannie Oliver, professors at Arkansas State University. One of the most important aspects about teaching is classroom management. It is also the most difficult. That is basically what derailed my teaching career, and I can actually say that because that wasn't my teaching, wasn't my calling. Radio, broadcasting actually is. But anyway, because some teachers take longer than others to grasp the concept of classroom management, there can be turnover, especially in the first few years of teaching, especially if they get into a school that is troubled and filled with, troubled students who may have history of discipline issues, and there's not a lot of structure in the school. So how do you ladies as educators, trying to recruit educators, how do you all address that to help these new teachers to get a grasp on classroom management, and once they get into the classroom, to help them with classroom management so that they're not overwhelmed and that they don't exit the field early?
Oh, that's a struggle for in-class teachers, teachers in preparation programs. That's a struggle for people even like us.
Absolutely.
Teaching is not easy.
It's not easy.
It is a challenge, and there's so much more to walking into a classroom, opening a textbook. We just had this discussion in our own meeting at Arkansas State University for our students. Number one, our teachers have to have engaging lessons that keep the students focused on the learning. That's the number one way to get rid of classroom management. So,
and also we want to look at, many teachers go into the classroom and they just focus on the teaching aspect rather than the behaviors of the students. And then they also just expect all students come into the classroom ready to learn, but that is not the case, because many students, it's their first time coming into school, so they don't understand the structure of the classroom and then the background of the classroom. So what I always advise my candidates to focus on is, you must teach behavior in the same manner that you teach math and reading. You cannot expect kids to come in ready to learn. So we have to provide that structure for them and make sure that we teach those behavior expectations throughout the school year to make sure that our students are on target.
Exactly. One of the things I have learned, because it's been like 23 years. I'm like you, because my background, of course, broadcasting, TV, radio. However, for some reason, it's a calling that teaching, and so and I really enjoy teaching those students. One of the things I have learned, that communication skills, get to know your students, get to know your students. Don't talk over their heads, but get to know the students and break the language down. Let them know who you are and you here to teach and you care. And you'll be surprised, students will appreciate that, because that's what I have learned, because a lot of my students appreciated me and they still appreciate it today, I teach an online or communication class, and I have students, I say, hey, give me a call. I give my cell number, call me, When I know these students are totally different. But however, even when I was at Bishop Byrne High School, I used to teach there, Bishop Byrne Catholic High School in Memphis, Tennessee. And I can remember many years ago that I just set the tone, let them know who I am, that I care. And you'd be surprised, they really appreciate that. They open communication skills, even listening skills as well, because they want that listening. They want you to listen to them. Even you'd be surprised they go through so much problems, and so but I learned so much from students.
And we definitely thank you ladies for that advice. Hopefully it blesses someone who's listening who may be thinking about the program. Ladies, also I believe that there are some new online education programs that can allow for people interested in getting into the field to get licensure, and there's some new pathways available that may remove some of the previous barriers as far as getting credentialed and certified. So let's talk about that, ladies.
Okay, well, I would definitely like, and I'm very excited that we are now offering a 100% online Masters of Arts in Teaching in Special Education. It is a 36-hour program where students can enter into the program beginning in July. After they take a couple of courses, one being SPED Academy 101 and another special ed class, as well as passing 2 praxis exams, they are eligible for provisional
Now, Dr.
license.
Davis, let me back you up just a little bit about the praxis. Is there going to be help? Because one thing I have noticed, especially with African Americans, that there's a lot of people had got locked out because they just could not simply pass the praxis one. So will there be assistance in taking that test?
Dr. Bowser, do you want to add the
I
new
will.
news?
Well, because of the shortage in Arkansas, one of the ways in which the state is trying to get rid of that or to fill those is there are more flexible pathways in terms of becoming licensed. So one of the things that the state has released in the new rules is that there is no longer the requirement of a Praxis 1. We all have to have a basic skills assessment, but we get to name it. Therefore, Arkansas State has put in a proposal for new rules that would include additional exams that we feel would be aligned to admission to the university. So once we hear feedback from Arkansas Department of Ed, we believe those changes will give our students more opportunities, and in saying that, we will have additional students interested who may have been challenged by that one exam that you mentioned, Praxis 1.
Okay, and get back to Dr. Davis talking about the online program.
Well, with the online program, as I mentioned, there are 2 praxis exams that the students will have to take in order to receive a provisional license. One being the Special Ed Foundations, which would be basically foundational skills in reading, math, writing, social studies, and science. And the other one being Praxis 5354, which is a content area for special education. That will be covered in the SPED Academy 101. We will cover every aspect of that test, which will ultimately prepare them to pass that exam. And we've been going through this exam, and I've been working in higher ed for a long time, and I have not, to this point, let me knock on wood somewhere, had any student fail that exam. They have actually exceeded the expectations. So I am very confident that we will definitely prepare them to pass that exam.
Alrighty. Is the program just only available for special education? Is there any online programs for any other subjects in case anyone is interested in teaching other subjects?
Currently, I don't think
so. Not at initial licensure, but we do have several programs that are advanced licensure, such as our reading specialist. We have a program for educational leadership that would be building level and district level administrator, as well as curriculum. And curriculum program administrator would include gifted and talented, special ed director, as well as curriculum director. So those programs I know are completely online. Many of our other programs are what we would call hybrid, which is more of a blended platform. A number of the courses are online, whereas a number are still face-to-face.
Okay.
Which works for some people, you know.
Alrighty, so once again we are speaking with Dr. Kimberly Davis, Dr. Audrey Bowser, and Dr. Jeannie Oliver of Arkansas State University. The Teachers Rise Up event is June 7th, 2018 at Centennial Hall Student Union from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Register by May 25th at ready2teach.eventbrite.com. Ladies, we got about 3 minutes left, so Any final thoughts, comments, anything that you want to stress to the people out there?
I want to take this opportunity to encourage any of our teachers who are listening to find or to just encourage their students in high schools to attend the event so that we can share with them the wonderfulness of our profession. So we look forward to having as many as possible. We have slots for 75 students to register for this event, and we're working hard to make it a memorable day and one that would ensure that students would be ready to teach.
All right, Dr. Davis, Dr. Oliver.
I think Dr. Bowser said it best, but I just want to say, come on, we want to prepare you to be able to teach, to be able to make a difference in our community. We need you. We need good teachers. So please sign up for this event. I promise you, you will not be disappointed.
I totally agree with both.
All right, well, we got 2 minutes, so I'm going to throw out a quick question. One piece of advice you would give to anyone entering the teaching field, and we'll start with Dr. Bowser.
One piece of advice, the advice would simply be to stay focused and committed to tomorrow's needs, which means you make the difference. Think about this. Every doctor, president, anyone in leadership, anyone in profession has gotten there through the help of a teacher. So my advice is, if you are interested in teaching, please be focused and committed to this as a professional career.
We got a Facebook shout out from Sonia Hunter. Amazing things you are doing. Thanks. And we'll close out with Dr. Oliver, since she did the least speaking. So we'll let her give a piece of advice to anyone entering education.
I want to say that their mentors. Students are looking for a mentor, like I said before, because you have so many young people giving up. I have a lot of my cousins, want to give up. And my thing is that you have to believe in yourself. And that's what they're looking for, someone like us to tell them to believe in yourself and not to give up and keep pushing. And I like that rise up,
Yes,
But that's my advice. And it is a calling. It is a calling. I totally agree with that. And so I see it as a ministry. So, yeah.
All right, Dr. Davis, 25 seconds.
Ready to teach. Be ready to teach. We are excited. Please sign up for this event and bring a friend with you. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. We will all come together to make a difference in our community.
All right. Thank you, ladies, for dropping by. This is All Gospel Wednesday. We got gospel all day long. You guys and gals have a great and blessed day. This is KLEK 102.5
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. A program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. According to recently released figures from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, a middle